But I was able to narrow it down to just one book, which is the book of Genesis. I couldn't pick the entire book because to hear that here today would be here a while, right? So I decided to pick just one story, which is the one that we heard Michelle read, about Jacob and Esau. I picked it not because this story itself is my absolute favorite, but I picked it because it's a good launching point for talking about the overall story of Genesis, which is a story of a family. It's a family drama, in a sense, of the whole entire book. It's a story that's full of love and betrayal, suffering and redemption, forgiveness and hope. If you want a good story, you don't need Netflix. You can open up Genesis and it's all there. And there's so much in this book that speaks truth about the human condition. In particular today, I'm going to be focusing on what Genesis has to say to us about what is enough in our lives. Enough. All kinds of ages and backgrounds of people know the sense that can come up of feeling like we don't have enough, like we aren't enough ourselves. And it's not new. It's a sentiment that goes back to the beginning, to Genesis, which the word Genesis means beginning. The first 11 chapters of Genesis are about creation, about why humanity is the way it is, about how God relates to us in the midst of us being the way we are. So it's sort of a big picture kind of scope. And then starting in chapter 12, it zooms in on one particular family, which is the family of Abraham. It continues with that family's story for the rest of the 50 chapters of the book. So that means that Abraham's family gets 39 chapters of this book of Genesis, this book of beginnings. Their story is one that is studded with conflict. It's studded with questions of what is enough. It begins when God calls a man named Abraham and his wife Sarah to leave their home and to travel to a new land, where God promises that they will have as many descendants as there are stars in the sky. That's even though, so far, Sarah hasn't been able to have any children herself. So Sarah, perhaps in nervousness or desperation, she gives her servant Hagar to Abraham. And Hagar gets pregnant and gives birth to a son named Ishmael. Not long after, Sarah miraculously gets pregnant herself, and her son Isaac is born. When this happens, Sarah starts to get jealous, and she starts to worry that Ishmael will take away from Isaac what should belong to her son, to Sarah's son. She questions if there's enough room for both of these kids in the family. And so she convinces Abraham to banish Hagar and Ishmael into the wilderness to fend for themselves. Abraham listens to her, and the two go out, preparing to die. Then God lifts up a well of water in the wilderness for them. They live. Ishmael marries, he goes on to have many descendants. There's enough room in the world for both Isaac, Sarah's son, and Ishmael, Hagar's son, and both of the religious traditions that they come to represent. Still, the conflict continues into future generations. Isaac has two twin sons, Esau and Jacob. We heard a piece of their story this morning. Esau was born first of the two, and Jacob, we're told, comes out holding on to Esau's heel right after, almost like they were fighting in the womb for who would get to be born first. Later, when Isaac gets old, he's blind, so he can't see well, but he wants to give his firstborn, Esau, his blessing, his inheritance, as was the tradition. But Jacob tricks Isaac into giving that blessing to second-born Jacob instead. Esau, understandably, is very furious when he finds out, and so Jacob runs away to his uncle Laban's house for fear of his life. At Uncle Laban's, this theme of what is enough continues. Laban has two daughters, Leah and Rachel. We heard that mentioned in the story Michelle read as well. Jacob falls in love with the beautiful Rachel, and he makes a deal with her father Laban that he will work for 7 years in order to get to marry her. So he does. 7 years are up, They have a big wedding celebration. He goes into his bride's tent. The next morning he wakes up, and it's not Rachel there, but it's Leah. Understandably, Jacob's not happy about this. He goes to Laban, who said, well, I had to marry my oldest daughter off first. But hey, you want to work another 7 years? If one daughter isn't enough, you can have the second too. So Jacob does. You can imagine what this is like for the two sisters. Jealousy, tension. I really would not want to be one of those women. Jacob loves Rachel, not Leah. That's why in the sequence we heard Michelle read, Rachel's last there. That way if Esau's going to hurt one of them, it's more likely first to the children of the servants, and then the children of Leah, and then Rachel. Jacob loves beautiful Rachel, not Leah. But it's Leah who's able to have many children, while Rachel struggles. They tell it's in between their wedding stories and what Michelle read, there's a lot of stories about these two women fighting, about trying to get the mandrakes, which were about to help them have children. There's a lot of the story of the struggle between them. There's a question in there of if there's enough love and enough power in this family for both of them. And yet from our standpoint, when we look back, we see that Rachel, even though she struggled to have children, Rachel and her son Joseph is the one who ends up saving that whole family from famine when there's a big famine in Egypt at the end of the book of Genesis. Without Rachel, without Joseph, the story wouldn't continue on. It would end at that last chapter of Genesis. But it goes on. Each of them they have a critical role in that story. And Leah, though she's not loved by Jacob, one of her sons, Judah, is an ancestor of King David, who is an ancestor of Jesus. Leah and her child, too, have a critical role in this story. There's a place for them, an important place for them. There's enough. This all is background for the passage we heard today when Jacob and Esau see each other again for the first time in years. At that point, Jacob has decided that it's time to take his wives and children and wealth and leave Laban's house to go back to his homeland. Only there's a problem. What's the problem? It's Esau. He fears Esau is still angry, will try to kill him when he gets there. Still, he heads out. Laban's also mad at him, so he's kind of doing the best he can, doesn't have that much of a choice. He sends a bunch of gifts up ahead of him as an attempted peace offering for Esau. Finally, this moment comes when these two brothers meet face to face. Jacob has stolen so much from Esau. For 20 years, there's been a great distance between them. And in the climactic moment when Esau sees Jacob after these 20 years, what does Esau do? He embraces him, he hugs him. What does he say? He says, I have enough, my brother. Enough. I'm not sure what led Esau to that lesson. I'm not sure if up till that point Jacob learned it for himself. He responds by saying that he's experienced God's grace through this moment, that he also has everything he needs and wants. In this moment of meeting, there's deep grace. I have enough, my brother, Esau says. Keep what you have for yourself. Enough. Grace for Jacob, who had spent so much of his life wanting more than he had, who kept traveling and fighting to try to find it. It's grace in the midst of this family of people who are searching for enough, who are fighting with one another to find it. It's grace for us today, too. Enough. There's a book club that meets here at this church during the year. And over the summer, each year, we choose a longer book since we, in theory, have more time to read it. And so we meet back up again in September. And this summer, the book that was chosen is called My Dear Hamilton. It's a novel about the life of Alexander Hamilton, which is a popular topic these days because of the musical of that title. But this novel is told from the perspective of his wife, Eliza. If you still want to read it, there's still lots of time, and it's a pretty quick read, even though it's long. I'm generally not a Broadway person, but I've fallen in love over the past couple of years with Hamilton, the musical. Like the Genesis family saga, it is rich with emotion. song is fittingly called That Would Be Enough. And it comes at a point in the story when the Revolutionary War is still going on. Eliza writes to General Washington and asks him to send her husband home so that she can tell him that she's pregnant with their first child. Finally, he comes home, and Eliza shares the news with him in the form of this song called That Would Be Enough. She starts off by singing, "I knew you'd fight until the war was won, but you deserve a chance to meet your son. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now." Alexander responds, "Will you relish being a poor man's wife, unable to provide for your life?" And she says, "I relish being your wife. Look around, look around." Hamilton is ambitious. Like Jacob, he's seeking more. He grew up as an orphan in the Caribbean, had a hard childhood. He wants so much to be able to create a different life for his family and his children. He wants to go up the social ranks, find security. He works hard. He writes incessantly. He makes friends and enemies as he seeks out what is best for the United States of America in its early years. He helps create the U.S. financial system. He has at least one affair. He's searching for enough. He is straining for enough. He's stumbling over what is enough. In at least one of the songs on the show, he admits, "I'll never be satisfied." Eliza knows him. She's aware of this trait in him, this yearning in him. In the moment of this song, this sacred moment when he learns she's pregnant, she begs him to realize the gift that they already have. She begs him, "We don't need a legacy. We don't need money. If I could grant you peace of mind, if you could let me inside your heart, oh, let me be a part of the narrative. It's a story they will write one day. Let this moment be the first chapter where you decide to stay. And I could be enough. And we could be enough. That would be enough." Eliza's wisdom is Esau's wisdom. "I have enough," Esau tells Jacob. "I have enough, my brother. We don't need to fight anymore. There's enough." As I was researching the Hamilton song, I learned that the writer of Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he said that this was one of the easiest and fastest songs to write for the whole production. He said in an interview that he went home and he played it for his wife, tears streaming down his cheeks. And she goes, "Is that what you wish I would say to you?" And I'm like, "No, that's my love song to you," he said. It was for her, even though he was probably the one who wasn't around as much, at least in theory. He says, "I could be enough, and we could be enough. That would be enough. I have enough, my brother." There's an invitation for us in the story of Abraham and Sarah and Hagar, of Isaac and Ishmael, of Leah and Rachel, of Jacob and Esau. There's an invitation for us in the story of Eliza and Alexander Hamilton. There's an invitation to see and believe and trust that however insecure and scary the world can be, however uncontrollable or unknowable other people can be, there is in fact enough for us. Enough space in the world, enough love, enough power, enough security, enough of what we most need. We're about to come to this table for communion. And this bread here is called the bread of life, the body of Christ. Christ is God's answer to the human fear that echoes from the beginning, from Genesis, this fear that there is not enough, that we are not enough. Christ takes on that fear, that sense of not enoughness outside and within, and he offers to feed our bodies and our souls